In a world where racing games do not have a replay mode comes Dirt 5. Fresh from the hot plate of Codemasters comes the newest iteration of off-road racing. I don't know what that was, but it was funny to me, so I decided to do it. Okay, so this is the pros and cons of Dirt 5. I have about 40 plus hours into the game now. I've played plenty of career. I have been grinding online racing, and I have been playing a shit ton of the playgrounds. And I think I can form some sort of opinion. Now I have 8 pros I want to talk about and 8 cons. So I will begin this by just talking about all of the pros and then moving on to the cons, because I'm pretty sure, since this is the internet, specifically YouTube, people more care about my criticisms and the cons for the game. Now let's get into the pros. Number 1, the car choices are good. Hell, the car choices are great. And I really think that for the release of this game, the release of Dirt 5, it has a pretty damn solid lineup for cars. Plenty to choose from, plenty to race with. Each little specific thing seems to have 4 to 6 cars in it. Some less, some more. And they're good. I really like the car choices. They did a good job handpicking those cars. They're fun to drive. Number 2, tracks are amazing. I think I only have one problem with one track, and that's just a reverse iteration of a course in Brazil. Other than that, I love every track. The team that designed these tracks and mapped everything out and built these things from the ground up did a phenomenal job. This is one of those rare racing games where I love most of the tracks, and I like all of them. Even that reverse track I was talking about, it's still not bad. I prefer going one way than the other, essentially. That's it. But the tracks are amazing. Number 3, the game types are super fun. You have the Land Rush, you have the Rally Raid, and everything like that. Those different types of racing styles for the different types of vehicles are a hell of a lot of fun. I love the ice racing, the icebreakers, that's fun. The crazy racing, it's like the buggy, rocky, hill climb, drag race. I forget what it's called. But that's incredible. I love that. It's super creative, and it's really challenging. And the game types are just another reason why Dirt 5 is so damn fun. Number 4, the dynamic weather is great. And I've played racing games where there's dynamic weather, and sometimes it's hit and miss. And like for Forza Motorsport 7, it had its moments, but it kind of fell flat. On this though, it's awesome. It's just really good, especially when you pair it with the time progression, and you can speed that up from like 1 to time 16 or something like that. Yeah, the dynamic weather, when it just keeps raining and raining, then the clouds go away, and then it gets sunny for a little bit, and then it starts to sprinkle a little bit more, then it gets cloudy again. I really enjoy that. It's pretty cool. Number 5, the playgrounds kicks ass. I think this is the feature that will make Dirt 5 have longevity. I really do. I just hopped on to playgrounds again for the first time in a while, and there's so much to go through. And it was already packed whenever I got the game early, and was fortunate enough to have a pre-alpha build and be able to play other players. The Racing Ahead squad was able to play their stuff. Now that it's opened up to the public, it's just as I'd hoped. It is just flooded with great tracks, and I have many options. I can race and race and race and race and race, and it's awesome. I think Playgrounds was a phenomenal choice by Codemasters, by the Dirt 5 team. It was just a phenomenal idea. Number 6, the driving physics. I like how these cars handle. I like the way they feel, especially pairing it with a dynamic weather. Whenever the dirt turns into mud, the card starts to become a slidey boy, and it makes the game even more fun because you have to adjust to the weather, you have to adjust to the time of day, you have to adjust to your car. If it's a rear-wheel drive, you better be ready for some oversteer, because damn it, those things are gonna have oversteer. If you're gonna have a front-wheel drive car, prepare for some understeer, and make sure you don't drive a front-wheel drive car in the ice because it's awful. If you have a four-wheel drive car, be prepared for a massive launch, but you may not have the top speed that you want. And the driving physics as a whole on the controller, I have yet to do it on the wheel. That'll be a separate video, but everything feels amazing on the controller, and it's a lot of fun to drive these cars. Number 7 is photo mode. I love the photo mode. Not only can I just create content purely by photography if I wanted to, and a lot of people are going to do that because apparently video game photography has a much wider audience than I had ever anticipated, and I learned that this year. A lot of people are doing it, a lot of people share it on Twitter, and it's a really neat little niche and community where people can take photos in the video games and share them, and people adore them. Dirt 5 benefits from this. All it does is build hype around the game. People can take photos and share them, and I like it because honestly, I just find in-game photography relaxing after some races. I can hop into a different race and take some photos, and it's really neat. I try to find some decent shots. I try to find some unique shots. I'm not the best photographer. I don't have an eye for it. I just try to take some cool shots, some cool action shots of the vehicles that I am driving in, and I can use them as thumbnails for my videos, so that's also another perk. And then last but not least for the pros, number 8, career mode. I enjoy its simplicity and how linear it is at times, simply for the fact that there's plenty of racing games where the career mode is kind of clustered into a grid, and it can seem overwhelming. Another like single player aspect from a different game, like let's say Forza Horizon 4. That game, once you start unlocking all kinds of races, it's very overwhelming. You don't know which race to do next, and it can be very anxiety building in a way. This, it's you have a race, and then you have 2 more races that unlock. You complete those 2 races, then you may have 3. You do those 3 races, then 2 more unlock. You do those 2, then 4 unlocks, and you just keep going and keep going, and then all this kind of goes into chapters. And I don't think it's consistent, but you know, let's just say 15 races, and then you go into chapter 2. Then you do another 15 races, then you go into chapter 3. And as I'm going through these chapters, it seems to be unlocking some sort of narrative to have an end game against a racer that is, you know, yeah, not going to spoil it, but I'm nearing the end, and things may get aggressive towards the end of career mode, and I enjoy that for its simplicity. I think open world racing games are overused and overhyped. I enjoy just going into a menu, clicking on a square that says, this is where you're going, this is the type of race, and this is the vehicle you're going to drive, are you interested? And then I click, hell yes, and I get started on my race. Now, let's get going into... Before we go on to the cons, there's one thing that I think doesn't really belong in the pros nor the cons, and that is the player card customization. It's kind of like a take it or leave it, like a meh type of thing. I played around with this the other day, and I spent way too much money on customization stuff for my card. But it's just unique. It's kind of like a Grid 2019 when you had your little custom card thing. You can change the background, you can add stickers, you can put a nickname on there, you can change your lanyard, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So it doesn't really bother me, but it doesn't really add to the game either. It's not like overly neat, nor is it stupid. So there's my opinion on that. Now we are going into the cons. Number 1 is the livery editor is lacking. And I come from Forza Motorsport and Forza Horizon, where the livery editor is a pain in the ass, but you can still create a pretty damn cool looking car. On this one, your car is kind of limited to like 3 layers and a specific grid of colors, and those stickers that you can put on your player card to customize, you can put those stickers on your car. These cutesy little stickers do not belong on cars. I know they have separate things like eagles and bears and sharks and stuff, but the livery editor, if you're looking forward to making some cool liveries, do not buy the game for the livery editor, especially if you're, a livery editor or a painter from the Forza games. It is lacking. I'm just glad I can change the color of my car, but other than that, it is bad. Number 2, I put down the reverse tracks are awful, and most of them are awful. There's actually a couple of tracks. I know one in Italy where I like the reverse track actually better than the normal route. So I think instead of having the reverse tracks, they should have just added different iterations of that location, because honestly, I think reverse layouts are a cop-out in terms of creativity. Like I said earlier, the tracks are freaking amazing, but when you only have 2 actual tracks and then the other 2 options or just the reverse ribbon, it's just like, I could really go for something different. Number 3 is there is no actual rally racing in Dirt 5. There is the cross raid or cross rally, whatever it is, where you have the 12 cars and you're actually going through a point-to-point race. So in a way, that is kind of like rally racing, but the traditional sense of rallying, there's no co-driver, there's no harsh trail run by yourself with your co-pilot and balls to the walls, full throttle, no brakes, hand braking around turns, no traditional rally racing. That kind of sucks. Dirt 4 had it, Dirt Rally 2.0. Those games obviously had it. Even earlier iterations of Dirt had some rally racing in it. I'm pretty sure Dirt 3 did. It's been so long since I played it, and I miss it, honestly. I mean, this whole series is built around rally racing, and there's no traditional rally racing, so that kind of sucks. So, moving on to number 4, the collision physics. The driving physics are amazing. We already talked about that, but the collision physics, I swear sometimes if I touch another car, that car will go flying. Like, an explosion hit it, and it goes flying into a barrier, and then an AI car will run into it, and they both blow up like Chernobyl, and then I run into them, and cars just go flying everywhere. I've actually had it happen in an online racing game, where I got knocked out of the track, actually. I got knocked upside down, so it respawned me. It respawned me on top of somebody, and my buggy went flying. It was actually hilarious, but I also lost a lot of time because of that, thus making me not get into a decent position when the race was over. Now, another thing about the online racing and the collision physics, if a wreck happens, there's no ghosting. So that kind of sucks. Be on the lookout for that. Okay, number 5. I know I talked earlier about how the career mode was awesome for its simplicity, but honestly, my gripe with the career mode is also that it's too linear too. It's quite monotonous whenever I want to. I would love to have some sort of decent progression without it being overwhelming, and in this case, just like Grid from last year, it's too linear. It feels like a grind. It gets monotonous after a while. It's great for earning money, which I need to unlock all the cars, but career mode is just too linear. Number 6, and this is actually a big one for me, there's no replays. If you finish a race, you can't save a replay and come back to it later. I don't know who made this decision, but honestly, it was a bad one. Very bad one, because you have photo mode now, right? And let's say, I mean, you can only access photo mode during an actual race. And so you can't do that during an online race. So if you wanted to take a photo of some crazy wreck that happened with cars flying everywhere, you can't. You can only take photos on you have to access the pause menu through single player races and then go to photo mode. There's no replay, so you can't rewatch your stuff. Also, then it makes it so there's no like spectator mode either, which kind of sucks because it would be fun to go on Dirt 5 and spectate online races, because I've done that in the past with other racing games, and honestly it's kind of fun to just spectate random ass races online because sometimes they are just batshit bonkers and it's fun to do. So no replays, that really sucks for a myriad of reasons, especially if you are one of those content creators that likes to use the replays to capture unique angles and stuff of your run. And yeah, a lot of people would benefit from having replays. Number 7, online racing has 0 options, and it only has like 5 to 6 track/car variations that rotate. And I know the game is still fresh and still new. I don't know what their plans are for track rotations and stuff, but honestly, I've raced the same 5 or 6 tracks and cars, and I've done it so often that, well, for one, I'm getting so much practice that I'm getting good at that one car and track combination, but 2, I'm also already getting bored of it, which is not a good thing. Not a good thing at all, especially when you try to play like I'm in Kansas City, Missouri. So let's say it's 10 o'clock at night, and there's nobody on. That sucks in itself. So if you have like 2 cars and you're playing the same 5 tracks over and over and over, I mean, it's just not fun. I mean, there's the one track in China, and you're using the Titan. There's the Rally GT in South Africa going through the stadium. Which one? There's another one. I think it's Rally Cross on the ice. There is the Redeemer uphill with the SUV type buggies, or the SUV off-road trucks. And then there's one more. Oh, there's a race in Italy with trucks. And I can't remember if there's a 6th. So yeah, I can name, those are the races you get. And so there's a handful of races you get, and it's becoming repetitive. And I hope Codemasters or somebody from the Dirt 5 team really does something, because if they don't, if they're just expecting these 5 races to be it for online, it's going to be rough, and it's not going to last long. I'll say that right now. It's not going to last long, especially when I'm on PC, so I play through Steam. Most of the user base for Steam seems to come from Europe, so I'm trying to relax, or maybe not relax, I'm trying to just have a good race, some crazy wacky races at 10:30 at night, and nobody's playing on Steam. The game just released last week. That's not good. Now, I know it could be different for PlayStation, it could be different for Xbox, but I think this would eliminate... I think crossplay, honestly, would have eliminated some of the problems with loading times and low lobby counts. So, okay, I packed a lot into that one. So let's jump into the very last thing, and we'll make this quick to end this video. My last con for this game is you can easily wall ride on most turns. This is a problem for a lot of reasons. There's just cheating online, and it makes it not fun, especially when you only have the 5 damn races. So you can easily wall ride and not lose much speed. You know, when you play on, let's say, Forza Horizon 4, if you start grinding on the wall, you'll come to a roaring halt, and you just can't. You'll lose so much speed that it's not worth it anymore. And this also applies to the leaderboards. I was on career mode the other day, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna gun it. I'm gonna go and wall ride every single turn. And this was in a Rally GT car in the South African stadium track. I did the wall riding on every turn. I didn't even hit my damn brakes. Didn't hit my brakes. This is a pretty technical track that I'm talking about too. Wall riding, no braking. I checked the leaderboards after the race. I was second place in the world. That is a problem. When I don't use my brakes at all, I do some wall riding, and I have the silver button. The silver button for that track in the entire world. That shouldn't happen. But yeah, that's it for now. Let's wrap this up. It's been 20 minutes, so that has been my pros and cons for Dirt 5 thus far. And honestly, I'm still enjoying the game. I don't even know if you can count this as a review or anything. I'm still enjoying the game, and I honestly think if you're on the fence with it, you should probably just wait until it's on sale or something, which would be either probably later on this year for Black Friday, Christmas type of shopping or anything, or maybe some sort of Steam sale if you're waiting for it on PC. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment about I want to hear what your thoughts are about Dirt 5. I don't care if you worked on the game, I don't care if you're a content creator, I don't care if you're a paying customer, or if you're just playing split screen with a friend. I want to hear your story. So, yep, thank you so much, and hope to hear from you all. Have a great day. Bye-bye now.